Hello, citizens of Cantagree, and welcome back to another week of local news, here on 1101 APH, funded, as always, by our own local historical society. With the rodeo finished, we bid a fond farewell to those who have already moved on down the trail. Now citizens can get back to enjoying the start of fall colors and the last blooms of the season. Oh, and I suppose the start of allergy season. Dorothy, would you hand me one of those tissues? Thanks, Dorothy, you're a pal. Anyway, I just took some allergy medicine a minute ago, and it should kick in soon enough. So let's take a look at the week ahead. Monday. In the wake of all the excitement we have had in recent weeks, many citizens have been writing in or posting signs for missing items. As a result, Miss Tara Knotts, conflict resolution specialist and waitress down at Gracie's, decided that given the recent rise in customers asking her to keep an eye out for lost items, it was time to do something about it. Being a busy lady, but not wanting to shirk the duties of a member of the community, she is putting out a call for an amazing scavenger hunt of adventure! Da da da! She has several lists of items made up for each interested participant or group who wishes to participate in the event. She even gave me one last night when I was down at the diner. Let's see, my items are Ezra Phillips' favorite rubber ducky, the one with the hat, a dozen pairs of Mr. Kimberly's yellow gloves, 2 yellow construction hats belonging to Mr. Potts, the yellow hose from Mrs. Abbott's yard, and the yellow A and L from the sign for the old Evans Funeral Home. Huh, that is a lot of yellow things. I wonder if everyone got a color-themed list like mine. Anyway, if you finish a list and return all the items to their proper owners, you win a prize. Let's see, it's your choice of 2 free meals down at Gracie's or, oh come on, you're kidding me, half a dozen back scratchers. Tuesday, Mrs. Combe, our local green thumb, and Mr. Potts, our local handyman, are revealing the fruits of their recent collaboration efforts. They have been working on a project for nearly a year, hidden away at one of Laura's greenhouses, and no one knew what it was until now. But now, the wait is over, and they have officially announced their success in creating electric currents. Great, as they said, for creating pies and jellies with just a little extra zap, pow, and a pleasant tingle. Wednesday, Miss Shelby Madison, the woman everyone thought ran off to join the circus, but has secretly been living in the caves and tunnels on the outskirts of Cantagree, has just adopted an adorable little cat from the local shelter. She says his name is Buffett, and she wants to host a welcoming party for him, and everyone is invited. She figures it is a great chance to get him acquainted with his new home and give them both a chance to get to know the community. Just be aware, if you decide to bring baked goods, that Buffett is allergic to cinnamon. Thursday, Mr. Tomaine of the Tomaine Tea Room is hosting a special explosives-themed tea experience. He would like to show the wonders of fine green tea and thinks the best way to do that is to keep on theme. So around sunset, you can head down to the tea room for a fine cup of Chinese gunpowder green tea to drink while enjoying a full fireworks display. Tea room space is limited, but the fireworks will be visible for quite a distance, so even you coffee drinkers will get a chance to enjoy the show. Friday, the Cantagree Bards are setting up in the field at the end of Suncrest Drive for Cantagree's first ever drive-in musical. They will be performing a new production written right here in Cantagree by our very own Key Winters. Not many know she has a passion outside of basketball, but she is also heavily involved with the local theater group. The musical is titled Everything is Better When It's Not Getting Wetter, and will be heavily based on recent events involving flooding, as well as a historical take on how the town dealt with the flooding 100 years ago. Miss Winters asks that the ticket holders arrive early so they can take the time to fit as many cars as possible before resorting to standing room, given the water features used instead of pyrotechnics, which may splash the crowds. So if you don't have a ticket yet, you might want to bring an umbrella. Saturday, they are finally replacing the fountain on Turner Drive. You know, the ugly eyesore, which has been dedicatedly pumping water directly into the storm drain for months? The one that was struck in that freak six-way bicycling accident? Well, not only is it being replaced, but they are having Mr. Kimberly, our local ice sculptor, create the new installation. While primarily known for his ice sculptures, he is also an amateur water feature designer. He says his goal is to create something that fits his ideal theme of unexpected winter surprise, and hopes once the weather finally gets cold that we will appreciate his efforts. For now, early sketches resemble a bag of cats being sprayed with a lawn sprinkler. Sunday, Mr. Abrams is having a moving party. As is only appropriate, all those who attend the event will be supplied beer and pizza for their trouble. He says that after the flooding, his boathouse never did settle back into position properly, and being just a foot out of line with his mailbox has been driving him crazy these last few weeks. So once a suitable number of movers arrive, everyone will take positions around his house and move it back into position. He hopes it won't take more than an hour or two, but is willing to host a second party next week if it doesn't settle quite right. Alright, well, that about wraps that up, so I guess we can move on to local. Ugh. Hello, citizens. If you are hearing this, I have fallen asleep mid-broadcast, and Dorothy has started my practice recording of the weekly news write-ins for the weekly broadcast. A security measure I always take, just in case of incidents like these. I can't leave my audience hanging too long. First off, wicket kickers, I'll present this in a nicer when I'm live, but for now, I'll just give you peace of my mind. I have no idea if you knew the rodeo was coming when you made your little change to the rules, but boy, oh boy, do you have egg on your faces now. You may have taken first place in horseshoe tossing with your horseplay, but because you are not horses, you are formally disqualified and your names have been added to the list of horses no longer allowed to participate in the sport. You may have technically won the steer wrestling competition, but I think once Meatloaf and T-Bone were done with you, the audience knew who the real winners were. While you should have been disqualified from winning the children's events, you were lucky your wives stood as witness to the fact that you were all, in fact, complete and utter children. You won the Chuck Wagon cook-off and... Okay, you all actually did pretty good on that one, but still, removing the title from a Cantagree champion in bull riding by technicality? For shame! Well, I certainly hope you enjoyed being dressed up in all the ladies' rodeo finery to give your collective acceptance speech to be rodeo queen for the next year, though I would like to point out that your earrings did not go with your boots, and even a total novice to the process should have known better than to try and match Argyle with Paisley. So yeah, thanks for ruining the rodeo. Moving on. Mr. Telsky was arrested for disturbing the peace after bone-chilling screams were heard from one of the rodeo clowns as he returned to his wagon. When police arrived and asked what had happened, the clown explained that Mr. Telsky had silently snuck up on him and then seemingly attacked him with some sort of large, blunt object. When the officers searched the scene, no weapon matching the description could be found. After giving the clown additional time to calm down, they asked for additional details of the attack. The victim stated that while he had not actually seen the weapon, Mr. Telsky had been swinging the item with such gusto that he greatly feared the invisible object. Police are currently discussing whether a crime was actually committed, given that there was only the implication of a weapon involved, even if it was in the hands of a very capable mime. Speaking of clowns, they are almost done cleaning up after the steer juggling incident. I think that we can all agree that while the act itself was certainly impressive, the aftermath of juggling cows with motion sickness was impressive in a much less enjoyable way. Maybe they'll try something a little different next year. Old Man Warstone has not stopped contacting the station this week to make his complaints known. Apparently, he has recently noticed a mysterious visitor skulking around his property. While he says that he welcomes visitors during regular hours, he doesn't appreciate visitors in the early hours of the morning who wake up his dogs and steal all the lawn gnomes with yellow hats. He says that he will be forgiving if the offending party returns the gnomes immediately. But, I mean, those gnomes were weird. Like, really weird. So whoever took them can take their time returning them as far as I'm concerned. Seriously, the eyes follow you. After further press from fans about confectionery, Emerald River Traders made a clear statement about their thoughts on the matter by offering snail lollipops. In an unexpected turnaround, these pops sold out immediately, and while customers said they weren't much for flavor, they did say they did wonders for the skin. Now, for some weather. I don't know what it will be, because I'm not at the studio, but I still have to practice delivering it to the audience, so I will make a point of referencing the name of our weather correspondent, Captain Harrison. Then I practice reading semaphore signs, give a quick moment for translation, and then I tell everybody what the weather will be. Maybe something exciting like, "Oh, the weather will be perfect for that hike you've been thinking about," or, "Ah, run for your lives, the tornado is coming right at us." Something like that, I'm sure. But I guess I'll have to wait and see. Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in, citizens, to another weekly news report. I have been your host, Rizdon Mitchell, and I'm signing off. I'll talk to you soon. Sleep well, Cantagree. Sleep well.